Hi, everybody. So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen. You will not be able to see me tonight. You'll just be able to see my computer screen. And hopefully you're able to hear me. So just a minute here. I've got some other equipment to set up. Give me a second here. See if I can get into the video. I have to go on to another computer and oh, there I can see myself. There we are. And so is everybody coming? Can a few people coming in? Can you hear me okay? Looked like the microphone was working. All right, awesome. Everybody's hearing me okay? Half the time when I do this, the first time I try it, it kicks me out. So I have to go back and do it again. So that's what I had to do again tonight. So I'm a little bit late getting on. Hi, everybody. Wow, we got all kinds of people. Yeah, make sure you say something that I know you can hear me okay. All kinds of folks in here. Let's see, who else here? My old computer, I don't think is gonna work. I had to grab the Windows tablet off my long arm tonight to be my second computer. So, well, we're gonna have to get a new tablet, I think. So, my old computer, I think, is gonna bite the dust on me. Oh, cool. Everybody's hearing me okay? Cool. So this is a little different for everybody. I normally on this group, we don't share this computer screen, but this is how we do the software classes. So for those of you who come to the software classes on sessions on software, this is how we do it. So you can hear me, but there's just no picture other than my screen. So what has everybody been doing this rainy weekend? I hung out at home today. We did the quilt show up in Cedar Rapids for, I was up there Tuesday and Wednesday to set up with Tim, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday running the show, doing the show, you know, and vending. And oh my gosh, am I tired? And I was happy to get home last night. I got home maybe. Janan, you can't hear me? Is everybody else hearing me okay? Just a second. I think my microphone's working. So is everybody hearing me? Sewing and napping, Margaret? That's awesome. So everybody is hearing me okay, right? Send me up some little thumbs ups if you're hearing me okay. Those come up a little faster than you talking to me, so. Is everybody hearing me all right? So yeah, so we got home last night about 7:30. I got home about 7:30. I'm really tired. There was no air conditioning, so it was kind of hot up there. Made the days kind of long because it was quite warm this week. So you're hearing me okay? Awesome. Making a couple of bowl cozies. Oh, cool. Bowl cozies, cool. Oh, hi, Deb. There's all kinds of folks on here. How is everybody? So yeah, so I've been working on, I've been working on the Halloween pillow. So the October class on the 6th is going to be my new Halloween settee pillow. So I'll give you a little sneak peek while we're waiting for people to get in. I like to wait a few minutes before I start. I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I've got it sewed out. I had to do a couple little things, but here's the little settee pillow. Double toil and trouble. And I will make this available probably in a few days. I have to write the instructions. So I will put up on the group when it's available, and then I can, if you want to buy it, you can. It's $10, like the other ones. So, but this will be the Halloween class, and we'll do this on the 6th. And then I think on the 13th, October 13th, I think we'll do, I've been doing quite a bit of quilting with my design center / IQ designer if you have baby locks. And people have been asking me how I do it. So I think we're going to do, we're going to quilt something in with the embroidery machine. Now, not everybody I know has either a like Dream Machine, Destiny, Luminaire, Solaris, but I want to show everybody how I've been using Design Center in those machines to quilt quilts and do custom quilting. And I thought you, those of you who don't have those machines, it might be interesting to you to see what they will do. So we will do that on the 13th. So I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. So hopefully you can see the pillow. Turned out really cute. I like the little googly eyes. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And so I was watching Harry Potter a couple weeks ago, and they sing the little song, I think it's in the 3rd movie, Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. And I thought that'd be a fun little saying for a Halloween pillow. And I like spider webs. I don't like spiders very well, but I like spider webs. So I made the spider webs, and then I put a cute spider on. You know, it's not a scary spider, and it's got googly eyes, so how could it be scary? So anyway, so that'll be the pillow, and I'll put it up on the group. I've got a couple of days worth of like instructions and stuff to finish up. So then I'll have it ready for you. So, but that's what we'll do on the 6th, and then the 13th we'll do some quilting. All right, so tonight's topic is basic computer skills for embroiderers. I get a lot of questions about computer things. You know, as an embroiderer, we do have to use our computers a little bit, and it makes it hard if you are not a real, you know, if you're not, don't like your computer very well. But this, what I did is I uploaded the notes that I'm going to go use tonight for the class. I uploaded these to the group a few hours ago, so you can download them, and then you will have everything written out for you. I wrote these originally right at the time that Windows 10 came out, and people were struggling with Windows 10. And I still get a lot of questions about, you know, people are going from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And so the first little section of the class, I'm going to show you how to make Windows 10 just a little bit easier to get around in. And then we'll talk about filing or doing like putting your embroidery designs in some sort of order so you can find them. We'll talk about how to do that, and we'll talk about how to download things specifically from the group, because I am getting quite a few questions about people having trouble getting the designs like that I put up on Dropbox or on the group. So I'm going to show you how to get those things down from there, and I'm also going to show you how to get designs from like a CD to your USB stick to get to your machine. So these are some of the basic skills. I learned these while taking classes to get my teaching certificate back some years ago, and it was all basic computer skills. And these are things that, you know, a lot of us never really had classes in this. So they're just basic, and they're used for everything, not just for embroidery. So even if you don't have an embroidery machine, these things are useful for other reasons. So anyway, so hopefully you can download the handout. If you don't have it now, that's fine. You can just watch, and then you can download it. But then it's all written down for you, so you don't have to try to remember. It's all written down. You can go back and refer to the notes. So, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to make Windows 10 just a little bit easier to get around in. Windows 7, you know, had a lot of stuff that we were just used to it. And Windows 8 kind of did some weirdo stuff. And I never did care for Windows 8 very much, and I made it look like Windows 7. But then when Windows 10 came out, they put more of the stuff back that was in Windows 7, and it's just easier to navigate. But I do have a couple of things I'm going to show you that make it easier to navigate, because there's some things you can put in that were there for Windows 7. And the first thing is, in the start menu came back. You know, our little button down here in the lower left-hand corner came back in Windows 10, which was great. When you click on that, you know, we still get some of these tile things on the right, and that came in with Windows 8, and it was a little bit annoying, actually. I found them relatively annoying. And I don't need a tablet. I wanted a computer, so I didn't need this like tablet look to it. So I actually get rid of a lot of the tiles. So you notice I don't have a lot of tiles on my start menu, and you can get rid of them. They're very easy. So if you have like a gob of stuff here that you don't want it there anymore, just right click on the little tile, right click on it, and then there'll be a little button, and see where it says unpin from start. You can just unpin it and get rid of the tile, and so then you don't have so much stuff in here that is rather distracting. So that's one of the things that I learned about Windows 10 that helped me a lot. So I got rid of a lot of the junk that was here so that I just could find what I wanted a lot faster. The other thing that was hard is when they went from Windows 7, as you remember with Windows 7, you know, we'd click the start menu and then this little thing would pop out on the right. And one of the things that had there was my computer, or in other words, a way to get to the area where you could get to like your USB sticks and your hard drive and all that stuff. And it was in Windows 10 or in Windows 8 also, it was missing. So we couldn't find that stuff. So I like to have this PC, it's now called this PC instead of my computer. I like to have that button out here on that start menu so I can find it real fast instead of having to fiddle around through a bunch of files to find it. So to do that, all you have to do is go down to the start menu, and we've already got it up. And then you're gonna scroll down. This is all the programs on your computer. So we're going to scroll down, and at the bottom there's a thing, it's under W for Windows, and it says, I'm going to go over the bottom, and it says Windows System right here. And then I can find, there's a little button that says, now mine for some reason on this computer, I have no idea why, but it says computer. Most people's is going to say this PC, because on all my other computers it says this PC, except this one, and I have no idea why. So find this PC. Yours is probably going to be down under Task Manager. Right click on it and then say Pin to Start, because then it's going to put the little box out here on this start menu where all those tiles are, so that you can easily find your computer. And we'll talk about that more when we get on in with the lesson. I don't know why mine says computer. I haven't figured out. All the other ones say this PC. So yours will most likely say this PC. Okay. And then the other thing that was hard for me with Windows 10 is that, you know, I couldn't find my computer. Well, now I've got it back up there again, or this PC. And the other thing that was hard for me was that my documents didn't show up in here. With Windows 7, we had the little thing that came out, and like my documents were there, you know, where I could put all my embroidery designs and all my files and everything, and they weren't there. So in Windows 10, the items, the little shortcuts to some of these places are on the left-hand side, right above the menu, the start button. There's a settings. So this is like your control panel or your settings. And then I like to have pictures here so I can get into my pictures really quickly. But the one thing that I like to have here, and it's the little button up here, this is my documents. But I have to tell this to turn on because they don't default as being on. So I'm going to go to settings, which is the little cogwheel, or the control panel, used to be the old name for it. And in settings, you're going to go to the button that says personalization. And then I'm going to, on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of little options. And I want to personalize my start menu, because that's what it is. So I'm going to personalize the start menu. Then I'm going to scroll down a little bit. and if you scroll down, there's a button here that says choose which folders appear on the start. So that's what I want to do. I want to choose my folders. I'm going to click that. And then there's all these little sliders. So you can have your file explorer there. You can have settings, because I like settings there. And then I can turn on my documents, and I want my documents to be there, because then that's the way I was used to getting to them when I was in Windows 7. And there's also, you can turn on your downloads. You can turn on, if you read or listen to a lot of music, I like the pictures to be there. I can turn on videos. There's all these different folders that will show up there. Network, personal folder. So anything you want there to be turned on, just slide the little slider and turn it on. So I wanted documents to be there so I could find my documents really quickly. Okay? So those are 3 things that I found that just really helped me get around in Windows 10. So now when I go back to my Start menu and click there, on the left hand, it used to be on the right, but now it's on the left, I have my documents. So I can click this and it will take you directly to your documents folder. So it's easy to find. You don't have to go try to locate it. It's right there. Okay. I can go directly to my settings, which I like to do quite often. And then if I go to the right with all the tiles, I got rid of most of the tiles I never use. And then I have this PC. I can click there and it will take me to this PC, or where like I have access to my hard drive, to USB sticks, to DVD drives, to different things that you have plugged in. Okay, so those are things that are just easier for navigation. So that's why I wanted to start with that. That was always a big thing for everybody having trouble locating things. So as we go on in the lesson, I'm going to be using these items to get to things as we learn to make folders and different things. Okay? So the next section is we're going to talk about file organization. This is also something that a lot of people ask me about. I organize my files on my computer just like I would in a paper filing cabinet. So if you think of it that way, it's just electronic instead of a piece of paper. So if you think of it as sliding out a file drawer and putting the papers into the appropriate files, that often helps people to not be intimidated by it, okay? So what I want to do is I want to store my files in documents, because that's a good place to store them, because that's a folder that I know those are my items. So I'm going to go to the Start menu, and I'm going to go, remember that little icon we had turned on, it's at the top, it looks like a little piece of paper, and that's Documents. So I'm going to open up my documents to start this part of the lesson. Because what I want to do is inside my documents then, this is the main file drawer, okay? And I want to place my files into folders that are named something that makes sense to me. So like, for instance, we need to start, we're going to do a, we're going to make a file inside of documents that's called My Embroidery Designs. So if you have all your embroidery designs and you want to start organizing them, this is how I did mine. I'll just show you how I did mine. And I did it all with Windows. I didn't have a program or anything. It worked very well. So I have my documents file open. I'm going to turn my page just a second here. And then I want to make a new folder. I want my folder to be, I'm going to teach you how to make a folder. It's very easy. I'm going to right click on the white section of the documents. Let me open it up a little bit so you can see it better. I'm going to right click in this white section over here and just say, go down to New. And then this little menu opens up, and I want a new folder. So it created a new folder. My new folder down here says New Folder. It's at the bottom of the screen. Give me a second. I'm going to turn my page. And I want to name my folder. While it's blue like that, you can rename it. I'm going to name that folder my embroidery designs. So see how easy it was to create a folder. After you name it, click the Enter key on your keyboard. And whoops, I must have already had one in here, so I'll just say no. Just a second, let me go get rid of it. I think I did that the other day when I was going through my notes. And then I'll go down and rename it for you. Give me a second. Yep, I did. Okay, just a second here. We'll get rid of it and we'll start that little section. Okay. So I'll go back down to my new folder. Whoops, now it's under new, sorry. They end up at the bottom when you first make them, but then they go alphabetical. So mine moved up after I hit enter. So we'll call it my embroidery designs. See if I can spell tonight. And I'm going to hit enter. So I've named my folder that I created. Okay, is everybody doing okay? Everybody following me so far? Send me up some little thumbs up if you're doing okay. So I named it and I hit enter on my keyboard. Now if I double click on that folder, it will open up my embroidery designs. If you look at the top of your the little folder bar, it says that I'm in this PC in documents, and then I'm inside my embroidery designs. So that way you know where you are at all times, okay? So you just need to, you can read up in this little line up here where you are, all right? Then to navigate back, that's why they have these little arrows up here. So on the left-hand side, there's a little arrow, and I can go back to the previous folder. So think of your file drawer. So I'm going to go back to my documents. That's my main file drawer. On the left, again, there's an arrow pointing the other direction. So I can go back to my embroidery designs. So that helps you know where you are at all times. So that's like a little navigation pane. Okay? So pay attention to that, because if you look up there and read it, it will tell you where you are. All right. Got to turn my page again. Now inside of my embroidery designs, we can also make more. We can make more folders. So, like for instance, how I've done mine is I have a folder called My Embroidery Designs, and then inside there I have a folder for each company that I have purchased designs from. So, for instance, I have designs. I want to make a new folder again. I can right-click, New Folder. And while it's blue, I can name it. And like I have a lot of Anita Good designs. So I'm going to name this folder Anita Good Design and hit enter. And then I'm going to right click again. I'm going to create a new folder. And I have a lot of Kimberbell designs. Okay, and I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to right click again. New and folder, and I have like a lot of Hope Yoder designs. Okay, so this is how I have started organizing my designs. Inside those folders, then I put in a folder with the name of the CD. So like if I have a Kimberbell one that's called Bench Buddies September through December, that's the name of the CD, and it's inside the Kimberbell folder in my embroidery designs in my documents. So that's how I've organized. And so as I go with my CDs, I put them into the appropriate folder by the name of the company. That seemed to work well for me because I remember what company the design was made by. Okay? All right, so turn my page again. All right, so we know how to make folders now. So now we need to do a little work we need to find things like USB sticks and CD drives and things like that. So we're going to talk about this PC, or mine, like I said, mine says computer. So I'm going to close this folder for right now. And this PC shows us in one window all the drives that are available on our computer. This is where you can easily access all the files on your computer and browse through them. We will take a quick tour of this PC and then use it extensively later in this tutorial. So I'm going to go find this PC. Now remember, we put it under the Start menu. We're going to go back down to Start. And this PC, I made a tile over here on my Start menu. Mine says Computer. I'm going to click on that and open it up. So when that folder opens up, if I look down where it says Devices and Drives, this is everything that is connected to your computer at the time. Letters change, just so you know, depending on what you have. Now, this particular computer that I have does not have a DVD drive in it, and it does not have a recovery drive. So in my notes, I wrote down the things that were on the computer at the time I made these. But this particular computer, your main hard drive is Windows, it usually says Windows C. That's like the main hard drive on your computer. That's the guts of your computer. My D drive, in this case, I don't have a recovery drive on this computer. My D drive is, I have a USB stick in the side of my computer. So that's what my D drive is. And then if I look over again to the right, it says E, I have an external DVD writable. So I can get stuff off of CDs still. Many, many computers do not come with CD drives or DVD drives anymore. So you will probably need to purchase an external CD, DVD writer. I would recommend not buying a Blu-ray one. I've had a couple people have problems with the Blu-ray ones not reading the older CDs. So if you can still get DVD rewritables and they'll read the CDs okay. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Mine was like 30 bucks. But I use it because some of my programs still have CDs and my designs do. Okay, so that's what's plugged in. So you can see then the things that are plugged in to your computer. If you double click on any of these items, like if I double click on my C drive, these are the things that are inside your C drive. Like if I need to find something in my Dime software, for instance, if I double click on the C drive, I have a folder here that says Dime. And then that's where, by the way, all of the designs go. There's a designs folder, and then here's all the designs that are in my Dime software. So that's where they go when they install, if you're not sure. And at the top here, then, if I look at my little navigation bar, it says I'm in Windows C, the Dime folder, and in the designs folder. I can go back. I hit the back button a couple of times. Then I am back to this PC where I opened up the C drive. So that's how you can navigate through those items, okay? Turn my page again. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to then, by using what we just talked about with navigation in this PC, we're going to learn how to take designs off of a CD and put them on a stick. Now this is a big thing that we have to do as embroiderers. You know, we got to get our designs to the machine. So this is very common. You have purchased those great designs and you need to get them onto a USB. I would highly recommend to you that you do not save your designs only on a stick. I would save them to your documents inside your My Embroidery Designs folder or whatever you decide to name it, because leaving them on a stick is not always the safest thing. You want to make sure that you have them saved somewhere else, and I just use a USB stick to transfer my designs from my computer to my machine. I don't use it for actual like permanent storage. I have permanent storage on my computer or on an external hard drive for all of my designs. Okay. So I have, remember from this PC, I have a USB stick installed, and it shows up as letter D here. And I also have my external DVD drive installed. I have it plugged into another USB port, and it says letter E. So to take a design off of the CD, the first thing I have to do is install my CD in my little drive here. So I'm going to pop it open. Second, I got to move a couple things to get it open here. Okay. Put my CD in, and then I'm going to shut the door. Now, most CD drives have an auto run feature. So hopefully it will just pop up for you, which mine did. So I am now looking at, I'll make this smaller so you can see the separate folders. This PC where I was earlier is behind. I'm going to close that, and let's just look at the CD drive. My auto run popped open this folder. Now, if yours does not, for some reason, pop up with the auto run, if you've like turned it off for some reason, and sometimes that happens, we'll close this as well, and I'll show you how to find it. Remember, we need to get to this PC because we know that's where we found that CD drive. I'm going to go down to the Start menu. I'm going to go back to this PC. Mine says computer, remember. And then in that window, I'm seeing, here's my C drive, my D drive, which is my USB stick, and then there's my DVD rewritable. So I can double click on that, and there's that same folder that popped up. That's the designs that are on my CD. Okay, so that's how you find it if your auto run does not pop up. Okay. Now, most of the CDs have similar files on them. In this case, this is a Kimberbell. I just got a new Kimberbell design. This is the Bench Buddies, and I think it's the September through December ones. I just got it yesterday. So I want to get this into my embroidery designs folder, and I'm going to put it inside my Kimberbell folder because that's the company that made it. And what I need to do then is I can look at these files, and there's some of these files I really don't need. Okay, so I'm going to look in here, and I know I want the directions. So I double clicked on the directions, and there's all the directions for each month. There's 4 months of little pillows. These are the little Bench Buddy pillows. And then if I look at the embroidery files, there are a lot of different formats of files. And I'll show you how I normally do this. I don't keep any files on my computer other than the ones that I need, because it just takes up space. If I ever need the other ones, they're on the CD and I can go back to them later. Okay, and then the last piece is the files for the electronic cutting machine. So like there's SVG files in here. So if I want to cut out my appliques with my scan and cut, I can do that with these files. Okay. Am I gone? Can anybody hear me? Is everybody still there? Just a minute, I'm having technical difficulty. Are you guys still able to see me? Just a minute here. I'm having trouble on my end, so just a second. Are you guys still there? Just a minute here. You guys, is everybody still here? Is everybody gone? You see where we are? Okay, are we still live, or is everybody gone? Still here, yes. Okay, you're still here. Just keep talking to me. Send me up the little, can you guys send me up the little thumbs ups? Sorry guys, sometimes this happens and it's hard for me. I have two computers running here and I'm doing the best I can. So can you send me thumbs ups? Because those I see right away. Everybody's still here? Cool. Everybody's still here? Yep, send me thumbs ups, because I know if you send me the little thumbs up, then I know that you're still hearing me. Okay, I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what happens is I can't see, like mine stopped running on my little computer, so I didn't know if anybody was actually still here. I'm just using my, I can't see you without a second computer. Okay. So we are talking about these SVGs. So the SVG files, we also need those. I want to make sure I keep those too on my computer. Okay. So I am going to, oops, got to turn my page again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the directions. I'm going to do all of these at the same time. Okay. I want to do the directions. I'm going to click on that, and it says directions, and then I'm going to hold my control key down. I'm going to click on the word Embroidery Files, and I'm going to keep my control key down and click on Files for Electronic Cutting. Okay, I want all of those items on my my Embroidery Files folder. Okay, so I've got all three of those. I'm going to right click. And then I am going to go down to the word copy. So I have them selected, and now I'm going to copy them. All right. Turning my page. Now I want to go back to where my documents are. All right. So I need to go over to my start menu, and I can go to the documents. Remember, we put that little icon on the left-hand side. There's my documents. And I need to go find my folder that says My Embroidery Designs. So I'm finding My Embroidery Designs. There it is. I'm going to double click on it and open it up. And then this was a Kimberbell design. So I'm going to open up Kimberbell, double click on it. Now, this one had, remember, I copied 3 folders, but I want to name my folder inside Kimberbell the name of the CD I'm doing. So I'm going to right click, just like we did before, New, go down to New, and Folder. And I'm going to name that folder Bench Buddies, September through December. And I'm going to hit Enter. So now I have the name of the CD. So that's what I named this. I'm going to double click on that folder and open it up. So if you look up at the little panel up here, I'm in my documents, inside My Embroidery Designs, inside Kimberbell, which is the company that made the CD, and inside the new folder I just made, Bench Buddies, September through December. Now I'm going to right click in this folder. This is where I want this to go. I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste. And it's going to copy the designs, and it might take a second here. CDs are a little slow. So it's good. Remember, we copied them from the CD where we were earlier, and now I'm pasting them onto my computer hard drive in my folder. So we're going to copy these over. It may take a minute because there's a lot of files. But I wanted to show you how to do both the stick and the documents, because I always save everything directly from my CD drive to my documents first. So that's what we're doing first. And then I will show you, you will do the same procedure to put it on a stick. Okay, so the exact same copying and pasting feature. And I'm sorry that the CD takes a little bit. CDs are, that's why a lot of places are discontinuing CDs. They are actually kind of slow for copying and pasting. But it'll be done here in a second. And then I'll show you what I do with the files once I get them there. So everybody's still hearing me okay, right? It was weird. I looked up and it was like the live had stopped and there was like a play button on mine. So I thought it had stopped in the middle of the transaction here. So we'll see what happens. But you must still be hearing me. It looks like it's working okay on my end, but it's funny what I see sometimes on my other computer. So, all right, we're about half done. I'm sorry it takes a minute. This is the fastest way to do this. You could do each individual folder, but this is the way I normally copy my designs from my CDs to my, oh, hi Denise, hi Lisa. How I copy them to my computer. I like to do it this way, and then I go back and get rid of some stuff I don't need. Makes it faster. So we got those 3 folders. We got about 70% done. So it's going. Oh, we're getting closer to 80%. So I'm sorry it takes a little bit. My little CD drive is not very fast. I've had this for a long time, but the computers just don't have, CD drives on them anymore. So I'm glad I have it. Still need it occasionally. Oh, we're getting close. 90%. Okay, we got it. So we copied the designs on the CD. We pasted them into my documents in my embroidery designs folder. I had made a folder that said Kimberbell, and then the name of the CD is Bench Buddies. So the directions, that's one of the folders I want to keep. I want to keep all of these directions, okay? But if I click the back button a couple times, I can get back to where it says Embroidery Files. Now, the only files that I want to keep are the PES files. So I'm going to show you my little quick trick. I like to do this. So what I do is I use my control key on my keyboard, control, and then I click the letter A. And what that does is that is select all. So now I have all of those folders inside of there selected. And I want to get rid of everything except the PES file, because I want to keep that one. That's the one I use all the time. So if I put my control key down again and just click on the letters PES and move my mouse away, now see the PES file is not selected, but everything else is. So now I can go up to my keyboard and hit the key that says delete, and it will delete everything except the PES file. So that's a quick way to get rid of a bunch of files. So there's my PES files, and those are the ones I want to keep on my hard drive. And then I'm going to click the back button a couple times to navigate back to the folder. And then here is my files, my SVG files. So those I want to keep as well, because I may need those. All right, so click back and back one more time. There's that Bench Buddies folder that we just created. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the same procedure. I'm going to close my documents at this point. And we had already copied these designs, right? Why don't you keep the DST files? Oh, Lynn, I don't keep the DST files because, for one thing, they don't save the colors. And I only use PES. I mean, DST, yes, you could keep them if you wanted to, but I only use the PES files. DST does not hold colors, and so it makes all these wild, weirdo colors, so I prefer to use the PES files. Okay, now we can do the same thing with the our memory stick. But with this particular, on my stick, all I need is that one folder that's off the CD. So we're in the CD, it's still open here. I'm gonna open up the Embroidery Files folder on the CD, and all I want is to copy the PES file. Okay, that whole file, I want all of those, that's all I need. Or if you have a different machine, you might need the DST or the EXP or whatever you need. I'm gonna get the PES, so I am going to right-click right on that folder, and I'm going to go down to copy, and then I need to find my USB, because now I want to put this on my USB stick to take to my computer. I'm then going to go to my computer, or this PC, and remember it's under the Start button, and there's this PC. Here is my C drive, which is my hard drive on my computer. The one below it's the DVD drive, but I need the USB stick, and it's on my computer it's letter D. Okay, I'm going to double click on it and open it up. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste that folder that was just the PES files. Now this folder just says PES, and so if you have a bunch of CDs to do, you know, they may all say PES. Well, I'm going to name this then what it is. This is actually those little bench buddies. So I'm going to click on the folder. If I click on the letter PES, click on it, and then click one more time, see how it highlights it like it was when we made the new folder. I'm just going to call it Bench Buddies. Oops, except I can't spell. And this is the September through December ones. Okay, and then I'm going to click enter. So then that folder on my USB stick, and that's where it is, can be taken to my embroidery machine. And here's all the there's little folders inside, see? So, because there was like, here's the December, November, October, so they have them by month inside there. And if I keep double clicking on the different folders, whoops, except that's an embroidery design. I didn't mean to click on that. A second here. Then here's the actual designs inside of the month folder, the ones that were listed by the month. Okay, so you can use your navigation arrows. Right now we're inside of that folder. I'm going to go back so I can see what else is on my stick. This is the USB stick now. I also have my Halloween pillow that I showed you earlier. So those are the two things that are on my stick right now. Okay? So what's important is making sure that you find the correct place you want to go. And now everybody knows how to get to this PC to find your stick. So once you click on your start menu and go to this PC, I found my CD drive. I copied things from my CD drive, and I needed to paste them on my stick. So they're both right there for you to find. Okay? I'm going to turn a couple of pages here. If I just need to copy and paste one item, I could have also, if I just wanted one design off that CD, I'm still here in this PC, I can go back to the DVD, open up my embroidery files, double click on that, double click on the PES files, and let's say I only want the design or a couple of designs that are in the December folder. I'm in that folder now. You can tell from the navigation line up here where you are. I've got these 3 designs that I need. These are the only 3. I got those. I'm going to click on the first one, hold my control key down, click on the second one, and click on the third one. They're all selected at the same time that way. Right click and copy. Now I can use my navigation up here, the arrows to the back, go back. If I click it a couple times, I can get back to this PC. If you just keep clicking, you can see where you're at. I'm looking for this PC. I'm back there. I'm going to go to my stick again, double click on the USB stick, and then I can right click and paste. So there's just some individual designs. I just needed those. So it depends on what you need for designs. If you want the whole folder, you can do a whole folder at once, or you can just do one design or two designs at once. Okay? Now yours might look slightly different than mine, the designs, because I have a little program, and I was going to tell everybody about it. I have a little program on my computer that's called, the one I have on this computer is called So What Pro. Let's see, no, So Icons. I'm sorry, So Icons. SEWICONZ. And that's what I have on this computer. And at the computer at the store, I have the Dime software that's called Perfect Embroidery Viewer. And what it does is it allows you to see, it just works in the background, and it allows you to see your embroidery designs with little pictures. So it's much easier to tell what's actually on things or on your computer, because then you can see a picture of it. So there's a couple of options, and they're very inexpensive, and you don't really have to do anything. They just they're called a thumbnailer, and they just work in the background. So I really love that, because then I can just see pictures of my designs, and I can pick them out much easier that way. So the copying procedure that we did will also work. You know, we copied the designs from the CD. What size USB are best to buy for these files? Deb, the USBs, depending on the machine you have a newer one. I don't use anything really over an 8 gigabyte. A 16 works. I have a couple of 32s that work. You have a newer machine. Those bigger ones will normally work. For those of you who have smaller or older machines, I would highly recommend about a 2 gigabyte stick. I use a 4 or an 8 most of the time. I like the smaller ones. Tim just ordered new sticks at the store, so we have some new 4 gigabyte ones that are nice. It's very hard to find the little ones in the stores now. But like the one that I just copied to happened to be a 32 gigabyte. It does work in my Luminaire. It worked in my Dream Machine. But if you have an older machine, it may not work in yours. And I'm not positive about, I haven't ever used that one, that big of a stick like in the, like the 6200Ds, or Deb, you've got a Journey or a Unity. I've never used one that big in that machine. So I kind of stick to a 4 or an 8. Those are kind of my two sizes now. But when I had an older machine, 2 gigabyte. Anything under the Quattro or older than the Quattro, 2 gigabyte was about all they would handle. And I have a lot of old sticks that are tiny. I have one that's 16 megabytes, tiny little old stick. So a lot of people ask me why I do the copy and paste. There's other ways to move designs. You can just drag and drop. I was taught by some of my computer geek friends that if you do that, sometimes you get what he called a dirty copy, and things don't always copy over perfectly. So he always told me to right-click and copy, left-click and paste, or right-click and paste, because then you were getting a cleaner copy. I've never had any troubles, and he had a degree in computers, so I figured it was probably a good tip. What else did I have a little note on the bottom of this page. Let's see. So the procedure we did, you can start from your hard drive to copy something and paste it onto a stick, from a CD and paste it onto a stick. You can copy and paste from a stick to a stick. Wherever, you just need to navigate to where you want the designs to end up. So it's the same procedure for any of the copying and pasting, okay? And in the notes that I put up on the group, they are all this stuff is written out so that you'll be able to see in steps. Okay, so we've got these designs on the stick, right? The next step is we got to get the stick out of the computer and into the machine. So before you can take it out, and it's very, very important that you do this. Yes, the yeah, you can see it on my desktop. It says Sew Icon 64. I really like Sew Icons. I use it here at home. I use the Dime software at the store because it also shows pictures of the long arm formats. So I have a long arm and I have a lot of designs for that, and that's why I use that one here, because I also use it. And it also will show you icons of SVG files, just so you know, SVG files and Silhouette Cameo files. It doesn't do FCMs, but I can do the SVGs. So it'll show you a picture of it. So it has a little more capabilities than the Dime software does. Dime is primarily embroidery files. So I like this one. I've been using it for a long time. Okay, so we need to get the stick out of our computer and into the machine. So the first thing you do is you go down to the bottom here, and there's and in my case you can't see it. There's a little arrow right down at the bottom, and it shows Show Hidden Icons. And when I do that, I click on that. Here's a bunch of the stuff that's going on my computer. And if I find the little one that looks like a USB stick, it says safely remove hardware and eject media. It is very important that you do this. If you don't do this, you will damage your USBs and you will damage your computer USBs and cause problems with your computer. So it's very, very important to do this. So if you click on the little icon that looks like a USB, it will give you the list of items that are plugged into your USBs. I need to eject my stick, which is called a cruiser blade. So you just click on that, and then you will get a little notification that says safe to remove hardware. So now I can pull it out. So basically what I did was turned it off before I pulled it out. So we don't like to, you know, like I don't turn on my, let's say my my fans. I had a fan blowing on me the other day. I don't unplug them without turning it off first. Okay, so that's what we're doing with our USB stick. So I have my USB stick out of my computer, and now I can go over to put it in my sewing machine because I properly removed it from the computer. Okay, so how is everybody doing? I've got a couple more things to show you. And does anybody have any other questions before we go on? Are you doing okay? I give everybody a second to respond if everybody's there. We can hear and see. Oh, good, everybody's hearing and seeing me. All right. Okay. So we will go on to the next section. So the next section is going to be a little bit more specific to our group on Facebook. Oh, where do you find that little software, Jan? The little software that I've been using, Sew Icons, it's SEWICONZ. It's from a company called the letter S, and the letter S, so S&S computing.com. That's where I got it. And I will write that up on the group, but it's S&S computing.com, and you can get it online. But since I have like all that other stuff, I use that one here, and I use the PEP, and we have the PEP viewer at the store, and I like that one too. But I have so many other things I use Sew Icons here at home. Okay. All right. So what we're going to talk about now is I've had a lot of questions about how to get I upload stuff to our group. and how to get those things downloaded. And I've been using both the file section in the group, and I've been using Dropbox, because Facebook no longer allows me to put zip files up online on Facebook. So I have to use, if I have a larger file and I need to zip it and put a bunch of stuff together, I have to use Dropbox. So we're going to talk about the internet, and specifically Facebook. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and there's a lot of things you can get from the internet, and you have to download. Everything is downloadable. That's downloadable. Everybody's like websites and stuff are different. So that's why I wanted to talk more specifically about Sew Along with Jan, the group, so you know where to go to get the stuff that I'm putting up there for you, and how to get it down to your computers and to your machines. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a test. So I have to open a second browser in Facebook. It worked for me earlier, so I hope it works for me now. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to open up my browser again. Okay, I'm going to make another page. We're going to go to Facebook, and I'm going to type in facebook.com, and it's let me into my Facebook account. I was already logged in because that's where we are right now, but you would just go to Facebook and log in. So this is how you're going to get to the files and to do the downloading from Dropbox. So that's where I'm at. I'm back in my account. Now we want to get to Sew Along with Jan. This is what some of the people have been having trouble doing. They're like, how do I get there? So once you get to your main page, it'll come up, and this is your main Facebook page, or your feed, that they call a feed. If you look on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of shortcuts. Those are your groups that you belong to. And there's a button down here that says See More, so you might have to click that in order to find the one that says Sew Along with Jan. So I'm just going to click, mine are at the top. So I'm going to click Sew Along with Jan. Okay, so now I'm in the group. So this is our group. And then what we're heading for right now is I want to show you where I upload these things. It's called the Files section. So this is the group. So the first thing is you got to get to Sew Along with Jan. And then you need to go over, and there's a little button on the side that says Files. And that's where all of the files that I have uploaded to the group are held. So there's a page that has all of them on there. So I'm going to click on Files. And then, give me a second, I'm just turning my pages. If I scroll down here a little bit, this is the file section. This is every single file that I have uploaded to the group since we started in February. And the thing that I just did today, the first thing is this basic computer skills, Windows 10 for Facebook. This is the lesson we're doing today, okay? And then I want to download this. So to do that, I found the file I want, and then, like I said, you can go down and there's all the files I've put up here for ever since we've had it. Okay, but I want to get my basic computer skills for Embroiderers notes downloaded. If I find my file, and on the line, this is a PDF file. If I go all the way to the right-hand side, there's 3 little dots. I'm going to click on the 3 little dots, and one of the things that it allows me to do is to download. And so I'm going to click on Download. When I download this, on my, I have Google Chrome, and I would highly recommend, if you're not using Google Chrome, to use it, because I have very few problems with this browser. I have selected this to ask me where I want to download things, okay? I like to download things to my desktop so I can easily find them. So if I look in my Save As box here, it says this PC on my desktop, and that's where my file is going to go. If you have not chosen on your browser to tell your browser where to go, it may go to your downloads folder. If you look on the left-hand side, it may go directly to your downloads folder. And I'll show you how to find that folder in a minute, okay? I like to tell my browser to ask me, where do I want to download things? In fact, I will just quickly tell you that. So if I go to, if I'm in Google Chrome, if I go all the way over here to the right, we'll just open another browser and see what happens here. I'll click on the little buttons here. There's like 3 little dots on the right-hand side, and I'm going to go to Settings. Okay. This is the Settings pane. If I go down to the bottom where it says Advanced, I just scrolled all the way down to Advanced. And I keep going down. There's a little section here that's entitled Downloads. And I have told this, there's a little thing that says ask where to save each file before downloading. And I have that turned on. There's a little slider there, and I've turned it on, and otherwise it goes to my downloads folder. But I want to be able to control where it downloads to, so I don't have to hunt for it every time. So if you do that in Google Chrome, it will ask you. That little box will come up and it'll ask you every time where you want it downloaded, okay? So I'm going to close my settings because mine's already set up. And we're going to do this again. If you are on Microsoft Edge, when you click on this download button, and I don't have this one, but when you click on that little download button on our line, this little box that pops up in Google Chrome, if you have Microsoft Edge, there's a little box that will click at the bottom or will open up at the bottom of your browser. And there's a little button that says Save, but then there'll be a little arrow next to it. And if you click on that little arrow, it'll ask you to save as, and then the same box will pop up that you're looking at on my screen right now. Okay? So you need to tell it to save as, and then it won't go just randomly wherever. Okay? I want my document to go to my desktop, and I have it set up. I'm on my desktop, and now I can click save, and that's where it's going. And I'll show you when we get done here that it's there. It's downloaded. I'm going to minimize this screen for a second, and I'll show you on my desktop. Here it is. Here's my PDF file, Basic Computer Skills. So I downloaded it to my desktop directly. You could have downloaded it to your documents. And if you have a folder, I know a couple people said they have a folder for Sew Along with Jan. That's just stuff that we work with in the classes. So you could put it there wherever you would like, okay? All right, so let's go back here to our, see if we can get into the right one here, okay? All right, so there we're back in our file section. I am going to turn my pages a couple times. And we're also going to show you how to do Dropbox. And I have this all written out in these instructions, okay? So now we're in the file section. I want to go back to the normal feed of the group. So from the file section, if I just go up, see I'm on Sew Along with Jan, I can just go back then to the discussion. It's just above here, and it says discussion. I can just click on there, and then that takes me back to the normal feed that we see, you know, when we go into the group. What I've done with the Dropbox files, there's a section at the top of the group here called Announcements. And I am going to put in here the announcements. I'm going to make the posts that I put up that have Dropbox files for you to download in the announcements. So they'll always be at the top so you can see them, okay? As you can see here, it's the one that I put up last week with the doily in it. okay? And the Dropbox file is, there's a link to it and it's blue. If you look by the word announcements up here, there's also, it says see all. And if you click on see all of the announcements that I have Dropbox links in are there. So the latest one is at the top. The next one down is the Scrubbies, okay? And then the next one down is the Sew Pillow. So those were all the ones that I had put in the Dropbox. So that's where you'll find them. I'll always keep them at the top. But you might have to click the little arrow that says see all in order to find the one you're looking for. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to download the Scrubbies. All right. So the Scrubbies were the second one. So there's the first one and it was the second one. And here is then the Dropbox link. So I'm just going to click on the blue link for Dropbox. And it's going to take me into Dropbox. Okay, so you may have some screen like this that comes up. And you do not need to have an account for Dropbox. If you scroll down here, this little screen that opened up, see where it says no thanks, continue to view? Just click on that and get rid of the little screen that comes up. You do not have to have a Dropbox account for this. All right, I have to have one, but you don't. Then it opened up that file that you had the link to. So this is the Scrubbies. To get these down to your computer, I'm going to go over here and click on the little arrow next to the word download. And I'm going to do a direct download. So I'm going to click direct download. That little box is going to come up and it's going to ask me where I want to download it to. Well, you know what? I would like that to be in my folder that we made in documents. So if I look at this little box, there is my documents on the left. So now I'm in documents. It tells me at the top where I am. I'm going to go find my folder that says my embroidery designs. I'm going to double click on that and open it up. And then here is my folders, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and put my Scrubby collection inside this folder for right now. And I'm going to click save. So I'm happy where it is. And I'm going to click save. Okay, and it downloaded. We can leave Dropbox, the Dropbox link now. So I'm just going to close that folder. And I want to go now to my documents. I'm just going to turn a couple pages here in a second. So we're going to go back to documents because that's where I downloaded it to. I told it where to go. So I'm going to go down to my start menu. I'm going to go back to my documents. Remember that the little links on the left. And then I am going to go down to my little folder that says my embroidery designs. And here is my Scrubby collection. Okay. Have to make sure I haven't missed a step. Okay. Now, this Scrubby collection is a sew along with Jan. So, you know, I think I kind of want that to be in a folder that says sew along with Jan. So I'm back in my embroidery designs. I'm going to right click. I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to call it sew along, whoops, can't spell again, with Jan. Okay. And I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm just going to take that Scrubby collection and I'm going to pull it over into that folder. So it's inside of that folder. So now every time I have something that I'm going to download from the group, I'm going to put it into this folder because then it'll all be together. So let's double click on Sew Along with Jan. And we need to talk about the Scrubby collection folder because it looks different than many of the other folders. It has a zipper down in the middle of it. And that means, so that's one of the last things on our list here. We need to talk about zip files because when you go to put things up on the internet, if you have a lot of things, you need to zip them together or compress them so that they can stay together as a group. But then we got to get them unzipped in order to put them into our sewing machine, because the machines don't know what a zip folder is. So we need to get them unzipped. And it's super, super easy to unzip a folder, okay? So you know it's a zip folder if it has a little zipper down the middle of it. It's easy to remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that Scrubby collection. I'm going to right-click on it. And it's got the zipper on it. So I know I need to extract it. That's what Windows calls it, is extraction. So I'm going to go down to the word extract all. And I'm going to click on that. And then this little box opens up. And it asks me to select my destination. Now, what it does is it normally defaults to the same place as the zip folder is. In this case, that's definitely where I want it, okay? So I'm just going to click the button on the bottom and click extract. And that little folder then that just opened is actually the unzipped or the extracted folder. So that's the folder that we can use then in our embroidery machine. So I'm going to close it, and this is my documents folder where we told it to go. Now if you look here, here's the little zipper folder, and here's the same name without a zipper. That's the folder we want to keep. So I'm going to right-click on that Scrubby one with the zipper, and I'm going to delete it because we don't need that zipper folder anymore. And then the one without the zipper, I can double click on it, and inside of that folder, here's my apple and pears Scrubbies. Double click on the bell and the poinsettia. So here's all the individual Scrubbies. Here's the gingerbread man and the little snowflake. Here's the leaf and the turkey. Okay. And here's the year of Scrubbies. So there's 12 of them in there. So there are the designs. Then I can remember how we can copy and paste them to a stick at this point, and then we can put them into our embroidery machine. Okay? So extracting is super easy. I also have that written out step by step in the instructions here. The final things that I wanted to talk to you about are, as I'm doing these things, you noticed how I deleted the zip folder. When I'm done extracting something, I always throw away the zip folders and get rid of them because I don't need them, and then you won't get mixed up which one is which. So just once you extract it, get rid of it. The other thing is, rename the folders to be more descriptive. So sometimes, like this one's the Scrubby collection. That's descriptive enough to me. When we did the other one that just said PES, I wrote it out and I said it was called, in Kimberbell, it was in Kimberbell here, Bench Buddies. So name your folders something that you know what they are. Sometimes like designs or folders will just have like a number, like KD507. Well, that doesn't mean anything to me. I need to know what the name of the CD is. So rename things so you can find them easier, okay? And I'm going to close that folder for a minute. Then I often, after I do a bunch of like editing, or if I've been doing a bunch of moving around and changing my files and stuff, I may have things in my recycle bin. So when I go up here to the recycle bin, I can right click on it and I can empty my recycle bin and get rid of that stuff. You need to do this occasionally because it's just stuff sitting there that's going to bog down your computer. So I kind of do my file maintenance as I go. All right? That way I can really find my designs and stuff very easily. Okay. So we've talked about a lot of things tonight. We've talked about putting designs from your CD to your stick and put the stick into the computer or to the machine, and we've talked about folders. So hopefully everything, your questions will all be written out in that document that I put up. You now know how to download that from the file section, how to get to the file section, okay? So if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and just, text me or whatever and let me know if you have questions about it. But hopefully this helped you. I get a lot of questions about these things. And I wrote this class out maybe 10 years ago originally with Windows XP. And I just kind of updated it as I've been going along over the years and added some stuff. But I wanted to show you how to get to Dropbox and to the group and how to download things from the group. Because I do put a lot of stuff up here for you that's free. So, okay. So are there any other questions? Next week is the 29th. We will not have class on Sunday night because the following Tuesday, which is October 1st, I will be teaching the photo stitch class on sessions on software. So we won't have a Sew Along with Jan next Sunday. Okay, then the following Sunday, which is the 6th, we'll do the Halloween pillow. And I'll put a picture of that up there again. We're going to do this Halloween pillow. And I will put all the information about if you want to get the design. And then on the 13th, we're going to do a little embroidery. So we'll do some embroidered quilting, I should say, on the machine. So, okay, anything else? So you can go get your handout on the group. We all know how to download it now, so go get that and download it so you can print it out on your computer. Then you'll have that to set aside if you need some help. So, okay. So thank you very much for sewing along or computing along with me tonight. And I will see you very soon, I'm sure. And I will, next week, remember next Sunday we won't have class. And then I'll see you on the 1st for photo stitch. That'll be the next time. So thanks everybody. Have a good evening. Good night.